Right. So, a very good morning to everybody. Mark, let me know. Just give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know when I need to start.
You can begin.
All right. Okay. So, this is a new technology for me, even though I think many of you know as, us being tech savvy, and some of you may know me that, trying to be at the front edge of technology. So, first of all, I would like to thank Landor and Tom and Daniel um, and all his entire team for doing a sterling job in bringing this amazing conference together. I still miss our meetings in Birmingham, especially meeting old colleagues from MOTS. We used to have a great get together and meeting Tom and folks. Now we meet up virtually with a new challenge. And I'm over here based in Dubai. Been living over here for quite a few years. Some of you know what we do. And I basically started as a transport modeler, but over the last 2 years, probably I would say my career has moved more into technology. And some of the things that we started to create, I remember many, many years ago when we were making transport models back in Birmingham, especially working for the West Midlands local authorities. Um, we were actually simulating traffic. And in those early days, I'm talking early 2000, the computational technology was not really strong so as to visualize what is really happening on the roads. So we were using various traffic simulators which were available during those time, including Vism, Aimson. In early days, if people know, there used to be a simulator called TrafNetSim, which was made by Federal Highway Department. And the visualization of vehicles and the visualization of the street infrastructure was very, very basic. And over one summer holiday, actually, I went back to meet my brother in India, who actually created Sunovatech. That's a company that I'm working for now. And I was really amazed with the way he was able to render graphics in on his for his projects. So I asked him, brother, what are you working on? And he said, this is a new PlayStation game, which is just going to come out for PlayStation 3, and it's called Need for Speed. And we are visualizing car rallies and races in central London. And I was really gobsmacked with the way the visualization was done. So I asked him, is there another way? How do you really make these vehicles move? He said, well, that's an algorithm which the gamers have developed, and they give it to us. We don't know about it. And I asked him, can we not make my simulations of traffic look the way your renderings do in your visualization? And he said, well, nobody has never done it. It may be very difficult, but we can give it a try. So I went back to Tom and I showed him, look, Tom, this is what the gaming world is looking like. Can we not create a marriage in between? And I think so that was the birth of Sunovatech really right now. So Tom, I'm grateful to you for having that insight into the future of how technology could shape the modeling world. And I believe over the last years, really, we did a lot of work where we were able to explain what the modeling numbers really look like to a layman audience. All the data that we crunch, all the data that we analyze, eventually needs an easy analysis or an easy interpretation for the common man. And that is what, I would say the visualization was able to produce. So over 2 years ago, when I joined my brother, I said, look, what next? Visualization. Yeah, great. We've been able to do that. What else we should look into? So at that point in time, about 3 or 4 years ago, virtual reality or augmented reality or immersive technology, as it's called, was just about to, I would say, people were just dabbling into it. And I said, look, we had a brainstorming session together and said, look, this is something which is probably going to revolutionize the world. And that was probably the birth of the way we are sitting right now with Sunovatech, really creating immersive virtual reality applications. And one of the applications I want to talk about today is how virtual reality can transform the traffic management centers and the data-driven centers as well. So what we see on the left-hand side of this slide is a picture where one of the users is using augmented reality lens. This lens is made by Microsoft. It's quite expensive, but nonetheless, it's a technology which allows us to overlay data on top of what we are already seeing. And on the right-hand side is a young girl who is actually immersed in an immersive reality control room in virtual reality. So that's what, these are the two different technologies that we would like to present today and actually showcase to you. So what we are, essentially, we call ourselves as a global creative XR technology company. So for those of you who may not know what XR is, it means extended reality. Extended reality is a combination of both immersive as well as augmented realities. Now, I will explain these two terms in a bit. This is our studio on the right-hand side where we test a lot of stuff that we create. And you can see this young programmer, what she is trying to do is she's trying to test what she has built into a completely immersive world. And I'll show you what she really can see and how the environments really look. We have worked for a lot of consultants. We have worked for a lot of different local authorities. So we do have friends all around. And we try to work within this symbiotic relationship where we believe that the products that we produce, the consultancies and local authorities can use it to deliver their messages to the decision makers, to the common man on the ground. And over the last years, we have really specialized in virtual and augmented reality, what I like to call more or less as serious gaming. We do have quite a bit of staff, which has got three, I would say, backgrounds. They've got staff which has got experience in programming and coding, other staff which is into design, and then the last staff which is more into engineering and I would say architecture or build form, because we try to bring all these different disciplines together in a virtual environment. So what exactly is a virtual reality experience? As we can see over here, on the right-hand side is still from a movie which was made a few years ago called Ready Player One. It was a movie directed by Steven Spielberg. So for those of you who have not probably seen the movie, I would highly recommend to go and watch Ready Player One. It's available on Netflix. And what we are really, that movie explains what VR is or perhaps can be in the near future. What virtual reality is a interactive computer-generated experience where you are placed in a simulated environment. Now, this immersive environment can be similar or even better than your existing reality. And it's a reality which may be very difficult to create in the ordinary physical world. So in VR, we can physically teleport you and disconnect you from your existing world, and we can reconnect you into another world. Now, this is not just audio and visual. So when you use VR, maybe you can use a headset, which is what I've got over here. This is Oculus Quest 2. But what you can also do is that we can get other senses as well and feedback from those senses. Now, humans work with 5 senses. They are the senses of sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. And universities around the world are working on how we can transmit digitally all these 5 sensory experiences. So you can see in this image itself, the guy is wearing a haptic glove, which is able to give him force feedback. And there are new tech companies who are emerging to dabble into this technology because it's all about electricity, which can get to point B. So there's no reason why your sense feelings cannot be transmitted. And I am aware of advanced research happening in a few universities where they are even working on transmitting sense and taste. Well, so the field of haptics is growing. Just to say, for example, if you think that is virtual reality a serious business or not, I would say that definitely it is pretty serious business. Otherwise, why would a tech company like like Facebook, buy Oculus out and invest billions of dollars in just the hardware itself? A few years ago, this hardware used to be very expensive, out of reach for most ordinary people, but now you can just get a headset for 300 or 400 odd pounds. So it's getting more, I would say, domesticated. The other technology that I want to talk about is what is called augmented reality. And in augmented reality, in contrast to virtual reality, you do not lose the background of where you really are. So what happens is that when you wear these smart glasses, you get a layer of data superimposed on top of them. So in many ways, most of your are anyway having a feature of augmented reality. For those of you who may have played Pokemon Go, You might have experienced AR, or your kids may have experienced AR. Many a times, teenagers are playing TikTok, and then they have these selfies in which they are maybe, makeup may be enhanced, or they have, certain other features like a cap or something else, which is not what they're wearing, but they're gimmicks that we can get in the augmented world. Now, that is a very basic application of AR. Modern applications of AR are able to overlay data over top of what you really see, and actually what you see can get transmitted back into the control room. So there is an ability of remote assist. The market leader of augmented reality is, of course, Microsoft, which has made HoloLens. It's an expensive, I would say, gear, about £3,500 it costs. It's only mainly available to the developer market. And the other company, which is I would say giving Microsoft a lot of challenge, is Magic Leap, which is based out of Florida. So Magic Leap glasses are mainly used in entertainment right now, but of course they are finding a lot of applications in serious business, including surgery. Now, when we looked at these two applications of VR and AR, we were really thinking how we can apply this technology into the realm of the work that we were doing. So there is a video of what the type of projects we were involved with. This is the Expo 2020. I would just show you a quick portfolio over here on my browser. Hopefully I can locate that. And here we go. Maybe, can you see my screen, Sil? I hope you can. Can you see my full screen? Or Mark, can you tell me if it's available? If you can see. Okay,
yes,
great.
we can.
So, okay, great. So I'm going to just load up the Waymo video, which is essentially, I would say, a full. I'm going to play it a little bit faster. These links will be available to the audience later on who can see. Okay, so behind each of these projects, there was a story, and the story is that behind each of these projects, there was, 98% of the times, quite a sophisticated transport model of some sort. So whether I would say 98% because 2% we used to have some static models or some spreadsheets from where we had to extrapolate the numbers. So it really allowed us to essentially explain I would say the dark science of transport modeling to a common man. And you can see many of these projects are actually based in the Middle East, whether it is high-speed train or Hyperloop or, I would say connected autonomous vehicles or drone-based transport, because the decision makers over here wanted to see exactly how it's going to look. So it had to, therefore, not just be a transport model in isolation. It had to be completely multimodal solution, which is integrated with urban design and urban scape as exactly people are going to experience it. And it had to take into account, of course, conservation as well. I would then like to show you another video where actually this was our first attempt to create a whole immersive experience, probably in an unrelated subject, but we thought that, okay, if we can visualize this, we can probably visualize anything. And why don't we try to put something in virtual reality? And we didn't want to get ourselves stuck by a virtual reality experience which is on Earth. So we wanted to create a virtual reality experience which would probably take you on a journey of the moon. And I'll show you this quick video as well, which you will really see that how when the child, for example, or the users wears the VR goggles, they basically are teleported straight away. And what we showed in this particular experience was I would say, the moon, or I would say a lunar experience, so to speak. So let me just play this video very quickly, and then we'll get straight away into the control room application. Because I think it's important that we talk about both these applications, because it's important to see, how virtual reality can be used to visualize and solve problems which are not very easily visualizable. So of course, it's to go on moon and understand what is happening. It's not easy, but if you wear the VR goggles or headsets, we can easily teleport you. Let me play this video. So hopefully this should work.
Sonal, apologies that we have a few people complaining that the videos are very slow. Is there any chance you could put the YouTube links in the chat room, please?
Yes, I will do that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll just pause it over here and only take you to this one particular frame, which is quite important. And this frame is of what you see is that the girl is immersed in a virtual control room. And when she presses the launch button, it actually visualizes how the launch is going to happen. Now, with that particular concept in mind, when we showed it to some of our clients, they said that, oh, Sonal, this looks great. Why can't we convert this whole experience into a traffic control room? Would you not be able to take live data feed from cameras and put it into VR? And would it not be possible to perhaps control the real traffic from virtual reality? Now, nobody had done it before. And this project on which we are working is only a few, I would say, months old. So we are still in the process, but we would like to show you some early results of what it really looks like. And of course, last year we had a real problem. We had the problem of COVID and lockdowns around the world, where it was not possible to really for people to go around easily and collaborate. And virtual reality control rooms was something which was never thought about before. So we thought that why would one need to make a VR control room? Why would one need to wear a headset like this and collaborate in the virtual world, that to control traffic? And the simple reason was that it really allowed us to collaborate in real time. It allowed us to test new designs very quickly because you could connect your simulations behind into the VR world. It would really remove the need for physical control rooms. At least in our part of the world, people spend millions of dollars building a physical control room, which is manned by maybe one or two people. Is there really a need today to have those physical control rooms? Question marks. At the end of the day, we are also using data from the control rooms, which is analyzed, goes into the model. The models inform the decisions in the control room. Many a times these days, even live with various software solutions which are available. So can we not put the whole physical control room itself in a virtual environment was a challenge. And of course, it'll be a COVID-19 proof solution. It will eliminate the need to travel, and it will also allow us to help working closely much better. It'll be much more cost effective and much more quicker to build. We can build a virtual control room in about 3 to 6 months, whereas a real control room takes maybe a year or two at least to just get the building sorted. It is also projected by 2022, at least in Europe and in US, or in most of the developed world, as much as 70% of any type of control room workforce would like to work in a flexible way, and in terms of their location or hours. could we not provide instant and secure access to the systems so that we can manage planned events in unplanned way? And we thought that, okay, we should not only restrict ourselves to virtual, but also see how augmented reality perhaps could be used as well. So the idea was that right now when I'm working from home, I'm actually restricted to the environment of what I see on my computer screen. But once you are in VR, you would be able to arrange your screens anywhere. You would be able to go anywhere and see the data from different points. We also looked at finding right partnerships. Our focus was on virtual reality. We have teamed up with another UK-based company called Fracture Reality, who are the market leaders in providing collaborative augmented reality solutions. And we said that, okay, how could augmented reality be useful? Now, one of the big benefits of augmented reality is that you are not excluded from your existing data. So as you see in this picture, the user is looking at air traffic control or passenger movements and traffic inside, and all the real-time KPIs and graphs can be updated as a data layer, as a virtual data layer on top of what he's really seeing. So in this format, you can mix the two realities. You can mix what you are, and you can also fix, what you call the data on top. Now, we can also monitor the retina movement of the user. So suppose if a control room guy is going to become sleepy, we can give him a nudge that, okay, wake up, something important is happening, because the glasses actually have got a sensor which monitor what your eye movement also does as well. And of course, you don't need to type anything because you can just give, voice commands. Okay, all right, like you do, for example, you can also say, okay, hey, Microsoft, or hey, HoloLens, open up screen 2 and show me camera 65. And it'll just do that. So the need for getting stuck to that environment is just deleted. Now, one of the big benefits of this, just what is happening inside the lab, but what may happen in the field. And I'll explain that as well. Our main objective screen. Let's free the user of where he wants to see and what he wants to see. And let's give him full immersion as if he's physically present over there. Now, currently the project on which we are working, we are developing the solution which is compatible with Oculus Quest 2 device and Microsoft HoloLens version 2, which allows full multi-user control room. It allows full integration of CCTV cameras, whatever may be required. It allows two-way participation, that you can actually physically control the infrastructure from the control room, from the virtual environment to the real environment, do all the functions you need, pan, tilt, zoom, etc., visualize and execute instructions. And you can also have all the user authentication and all the biometrics from your retina scan anyway, because these profiles are being scanned. So we know exactly who is logged on where. You are able to configure environment. If you want screen X on ABC movement, you can put that on, and you can have different gestures which are tracked up with your hands as well. And of course, you can collaborate together. One of the most important things is that I want to visualize things in 3D. And because you're in the virtual world, you will be able to see everything in a stereoscopic 3D way. You would be able to collaborate with each other, communicate with your colleagues without physically ever being able to travel at all and make decisions together. Toward the final stage of this project with the University of Wellington in New Zealand was augmented virtual teleportation. So here the virtual and the augmented worlds come together. This is not yet developed. It's a concept on which we are working. And the way it happens, it basically combines both in the virtual and the augmented world. So in the virtual world, this is what a person wearing VR headset he has. He has got his control room environment, whatever he sees is all present in environment which is masked out from the real world. But his avatar is captured via the sensors, and his avatars are actually teleported in the real world as a mixed reality solution. Now, the guy in the real world actually wears the HoloLens, And whatever he sees is then transmitted back to the virtual user as a mixed reality, I would say, experience. So it really allows people to mix together both in virtual and augmented reality. Let me explain you how this is working again with these diagrams below. The VR guy sees things in virtual world. The AR guy sees things in the augmented world with data on top. But the augmented virtual teleportation allows both the virtual reality user and the augmented reality user to come together in the virtual environment. So this AR guy actually sees an avatar of the VR guy, and they're able to collaborate, and the VR guy is able to see everything that the AR guy sees in the real world. Now, what is the benefit of that? Benefits is you can actually free yourself of right now. This is cameras and audio feed. But what it really allows is that it allows us to look at full 360. So let's take, for example, if a policeman or a traffic manager is maybe wearing the HoloLens, the guy in the virtual world can see from his eyes, literally, so to speak. And the guy is not alone. In fact, he can have a digital avatar of his virtual buddy, and they are able to make decisions together in the real world and be able to solve problems. So it really allows this, I would say, the shared data layer allows something which is extremely powerful, and it will happen. The technology would be used not just, as I believe, for explaining traffic management, but other complex applications where we need to bring people together. Of course, virtual reality can be used to in extreme cases where we would like to solve some traffic problems and whatnot as well. So here again, we built some applications for the Saudi police, where we were showing how virtual reality can be used for responding to accidents on ground and for training as well. So when you create your virtual control room, because you could just have I would say real-time data or data coming with a lag. You can also train your decision makers in that virtual environment as if it's a really physical environment. It's completely possible to make decisions and to train people in extremely complex states which are difficult to create. So, okay, what we really want to do eventually is, and that's what this project is all about, is to combine both the real and the unreal world or the virtual worlds together. We want to be able to make decisions for data analysis in real time, which may be powered through artificial intelligence as well. The real-time decision support systems which we want to create are there to support mobility as a service and as a real smart city solution. We really don't need to leave your home, or you may be having, as long as you have a Oculus or a HTC Vive headset, you should be able to work from a beach and be able to control traffic far away as well. So currently, we are looking for partners, we are looking for opportunities, we are looking for stakeholders, we are looking for consultants and academic institutions who would like to work with us to produce this amazing concept into reality. We have also partnered with few universities and companies which have been mentioned below in production of this proof of concept. Why VR control rooms? It's a long-term future roadmap. And that Apple is going to come up with wearable tech Apple glasses, which will be a big challenger to Microsoft. And when Apple gets into tech, we all know how they really execute. So this is going to become a household technology. I strongly believe that in 10 years' time, most of us will be wearing a contact lens. So you would not need to have things anywhere. You could go anywhere, and with a click of your, I would say thumb or, your whistle, literally, you should be able to see and teleport each other and be able to experience information like never before. Haptic devices which allow us to touch and feel holograms also will give users deep insight. We would be able to reduce accidents much further. Today, a lot has been able to be possible in a fight against COVID because we had the right technology. Imagine if we were faced with COVID about 50 years ago, our world would have been much more tighter. Also, the location spatial data, which allows us to work with cloud-enabled rendering, is also going to be very, very useful. There are, of course, various other, I would say, interfaces which are available and so on and so forth, which can allow us to use the cloud rendered data in an interactive way. 5G is a technology which is enabling this teleportation and virtual worlds to create. And of course, it is possible to combine these data centers with predictive simulations. Again, 5G technology combined with cloud-based GPU allows these amazing renderings to be done in real time so that you can make decisions in the most effective way. So I'm going to end my show right now, and I'm going to ask maybe my colleague Saurabh, who is over here, to actually take you into one of the basic VR control rooms which we have set up for this meeting. For people who would like to join, and actually what would be really useful is maybe in the chat box, Saurabh, you can put them the link, and you would be able to see and create your avatar and be able to join in this control room. Saurabh, I hand it over to you for the next 10 minutes.
Hello everyone, thank you Sunny. I have added a link in the chat box if you all can see that. I'll also start sharing my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Control what now, and with the I sent you on the chat box, you just click on allow access your mic, and we can literally meet inside with virtual avatar. So is see some doors which are sitting, or you can say out, and here you live from various countries now, and this is for example screens from Japan, Tokyo, and this is somewhere in the US, and below 4 screens are showing us the live feed from London streets. So, and here also you can see some stuff from. So, multiple camera screen, live data feeds, and no limit right now. You can so many, all the teams, over here on the stage, and go close and have focus on any one of the screens. You can just right click and all the screens are in front of you. Go close, you can see the normal. You can also have, if you want to just have one every time in front of you, just and for example, I just want this screen to be everywhere I go, I'll just have this screen. I just have to walk. So this screen will follow us. So it is also very useful if you want to see some data feeds. It is not only about traffic cameras or what you can do with this, but also any screen you can do that. So for now, wait. So it's easy to remove. Just close it down. Environment I'm right now, what way I am moving is exactly the way I real world. I can even fly, which is not in real. Fly to see best. For example, here I have set up few data from. This is a system which I can show you. Any change in the screen, it will reflect real time. If you see this, just zoom. Are the feeds which you can change. Right now it is showing the speed analysis, so I can see that from other devices I can change device and apply, it will show me the live data feeds over here as well. So I can also here this signal flashing lights here are the data which is just showed you. So having the live feeds or data maps in front of you. This white right now in front of me. I'm not literally change your name. I'll show you just here. Change your real name. You can change your avatar. So yeah. And there is an option to change your name. So please change your name. Change your name and avatar. Or you can leave it for now as it is. It doesn't matter really. So if I show you another over here, you can also set up 360 cameras. Like if I just go here, I have just inside 360 live. So I don't know if the video is working for you as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of the police cams, Saurabh.
So I am entered. So if I am when I insert inside the 360 viewer, you can control the camera, look around anywhere, and it is easy. Just you need to insert or globe structure, and yeah, and you can also your screen inside this virtual environment. There's so many other things you can appreciate people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah. So sorry. Please continue. I'll talk later. Sorry.
So that's all. I was saying that literally appreciate people in virtual world, like sending them emojis like we do in real world. So that. Okay. Sonal, please continue.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that when I wear Oculus headset, then for this environment for me is not a flat two-dimensional environment that you see on sort of screen right now, but is fully three-dimensional immersive link as if you are physically present. So if you don't have an Oculus, you can actually use a cheaper headset like this. This is a $30 headset that you can get and put your mobile phone inside. But of course, the computational power of a mobile phone is much less. So we would leave this control room for people to try out, for another hour if you want to see or ask us questions. In fact, we don't need to talk in open meet at all. You can also talk to each other, communicate, even play music or whatever you want to do together in that virtual environment. Now we are using Mozilla Mixed Reality, which is our beta test version for testing certain things. But eventually, the whole control room that we are planning for our client is going to be built using a software called Unreal, Unreal World, okay, or Unreal Engine, more or less. And we also program stuff in Unity for. Yeah, we also test stuff using Unity as well. So to all modelers out there, we would like to say there is one more way, more effective way to communicate your stories. And that is immerse your clients and your decision makers into virtual reality. So with that, I think we will pause and stop over here. And if you have any questions, please ask us. Here is your VR control room space, which allows and experiencing. That's it. Thank you. So Mark, is it a question answer session or?